What's going on, everybody? This is Sunaak here, welcoming you to another draft analysis video. Yes, I am a part of another league. This was what I was hinting towards in my tweet, so if you guys have not checked that out, please do make sure to follow me on my socials. I'll have it somewhere on the screen. However, we are joining the IBA VGC Season 2. So I joined in last season, but unfortunately life happened and I had to drop out mid-season. However, this time around, everything should be okay, and I should be able to go ahead and complete the season in its entirety, which is perfect, and I'm very much looking forward to it because this is a very good group of people. There's only 8 of us this season. I think there was like 10 or 12 the last season. However, this time around, we only had 8 people. So due to that being only 8 people, we're only going to be doing this for 7 weeks, and I believe the top 6 will go to the playoffs. I need to check the rules again and just double check everything. However, we have a really good bunch of people in this group. As always, IBA is a fantastic league. If you guys are very interested in joining leagues yourself, I highly recommend the IBA. Fantastic group of people. They're going to be linked in the description as well as all the coaches. So huge shout out to Salty, Monk, CurseShaka, everyone, and Wes, and everyone as well as like all the mods and everything who are in charge of this league, because again, couldn't ask for a better group of people. But I'm gonna go ahead and go over the team that I drafted. And again, if you guys do not know, I am the coach for the Texas Tyrunts. Here's the logo here, wherever. I might have a fancy layout, I don't know. This is all happening the day of, so but in this league, we were drafting 10 Pokemon, and they were going to be assigned by tiers. This is kind of what they did the last season as well. However, Gigantamax and Dynamaxing Pokemon were kind of linked as one. So, if, for example, if you pick up a Lapras as like another tier, it can Gigantamax, or you can keep it as a regular Dynamax. So, there's a little bit of different rules compared to the first season. But we were allowed to pick 1 restricted, 2 tier 1s, 3 tier 2s, 3 tier 3s, and 1 tier 4. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go down the list of Pokemon, and I'll probably give some tips on why I picked them or whatever, but I won't be going into any strategies as always. So for my restricted Pokemon, I picked up Kyurem Black this time around. Last season I chose Kyurem White. If you guys are familiar with the other leagues that I did, the SQL and all those as well, which I'm super sad that I didn't finish posting the rest of them, and I couldn't find the footage anywhere to keep uploading it. However, I went 5-7 in that league with a Kyurem Black as the team. So this team might seem very familiar if you guys have seen that league from me, at least whatever came out from there. But I chose Kyurem Black because I do feel that offensive threat in terms of physical stats, which is base 170, by the way, which is insane. I thought Kyurem Black would be a really fun choice because I honestly really think the Kyurems are a little underrated, I think. Maybe. I could be wrong. But again, the biggest thing with threats coming around this season is that it's going to be weathers, you know, Kyogres, you got your Groudon. Of course, those went super fast, super quick. However, but I was very set on Kyurem Black from the very beginning, so thankfully I didn't get sniped. So very excited to have Kyurem Black as my restricted Pokemon again. Well, this time around again. So next up for the first tier 1, I ended up choosing Volcanion because that water absorb and that dual typing of fire and water can come in handy. And during the SQL League, this was my MVP Pokemon. This was the Pokemon of choice for me. I brought it every week that time around, so maybe it might change around. I don't know, depending on the opponents, but Volcanion never stirred me wrong. I really enjoyed using this Pokemon as a doubles team Pokemon. Very fun, very different. It catches people off guard, especially how bulky it can be. I know if Beagers, if you're watching this, you'd understand how crazy bulky this thing is. But that water absorb is going to be coming in handy against like the teams like Kyogre, anything that wants to run rain, Pelipper, or anything like that too. So it can kind of come back and put some kind of halts to some rain teams, but not fully, but you know, it puts some little shenanigans, a little wrench in their plays. So very excited to have Volcanion there. And my last tier 1 pick, I ended up choosing Landorus Incarnate. I was going to try to go for the Therian form, however I got sniped literally the round I was going to pick it. So I should have probably gone around there and chose Landorus, but I just wanted to make sure I picked up Volcanion. But either way, in the SQL, I ran Landorus Incarnate as well. So thankfully that Sheer Force, the Sand Force, like I can kind of go back and forth with this. However, once you see the rest of the team, I think you guys know what ability I'm probably going to be running on it. However, I can probably switch it up, which is good, and if when air needed. So another thing to point out, anything can Gigantamax and Dynamax this season as well. So there's any of the legends or anything can come out too. So that's partially why I kind of wanted this Pokemon too. So Landorus is pretty good in the doubles in terms of damage wise. You know, you get Rock Slide, Earthquake, or no, Earth Power because of that Sheer Force. There's a lot of things you can do with the Landorus. So next up, for my first tier 2, I ended up choosing Alolan Ninetails because the SQL League, I ended up running a Hail team. And I didn't have the Alolan Ninetails available to me that time around. I had a Vanillux, so I kind of just wanted to see what would be a better alternative to the Vanillux and a Hail setter. And sure enough, Ninetails Alola came up. So, of course, and the big thing is I'm gonna have to run Snow Warning on it because of the fact that evasion abilities and everything we're kind of following like Smogon type rules as well. No evasion, none of that stuff. So Snow Cloak cannot be used at all, so it's always going to be running the Hail every time I bring it, so Snow Warning is going to be very clutch, especially for the next Pokemon that I chose. And for that, my next tier 2 pick, I ended up choosing Alolan Sandslash. So with its Slush Rush ability, it's going to be going to doubling its speed in the Hail, so it's actually a pretty speedy threat, which hits pretty hard, and it can be a little bulky, but more physically only. However, with the ice typing, it kind of gains a little bit more weaknesses than it's because it's one of those, unfortunately, one of the worst types, I feel. But I really enjoy Alolan Sandslash. It did me it did a really good service for me in the SQL League as well. So I kind of really wanted to run this strategy again because I haven't done it in the IBA. So I will hopefully probably, fingers crossed that this goes well for me. So that's one of the reasons why I picked those two up. So those are very good team members in my opinion. Hopefully I can use the Alolan Ninetails pretty well this time around. But yeah, very excited for those two. I also have my third tier 2, which is Dragalge. Believe it or not, Dragalge for me is a sleeper pick. I hope I can show you guys why. The Dragalge is a very, very good special attacker, but with the slowness of it being base 44 speed, a lot of people kind of tend to throw it away unless you're running a Trick Room team, which I have the potential of doing with this team as well. So I'll show you why after this one. But the adaptability, Poison Point, Poison Touch abilities, I can kind of go all over the place with those. However, I think I'm probably going to be going more with the adaptability one. But Poison Dragon are pretty good typings as well, and it learns some pretty good moves that, again, I think it's a sleeper pick. A lot of people kind of don't pick up Dragalge or think it's really good in doubles. However, I hope, again, I can show how good it can be. But one of the biggest reasons why, and I picked up Dragalge, and this other Pokemon, which is my first tier 3, is Guard of War, which is going to be a Psychic Fairy type. It has Telepathy, it has Trace, it has Synchronize, so any of its abilities are really good for me. So I guess just depending week by week, I'm going to see what I will be doing ability-wise. However, Telepathy might be coming in clutch because, you know, Earthquake, any of those other kind of spread moves that will hit my own teammates, it's going to be avoided. So I don't have to keep running Protect or anything like that. I have Trace to steal abilities if someone's running an ability that might not be good against them. I don't know. So a bunch of things going on. Synchronize, I might not be running much on it, but again, it depends week to week. But again, the SQL League, I had a Guard of War as well. And honestly, this is where my picks of being comfortable kind of stop, because these next 3 picks for me are kind of, you know, I don't know what to do with them. However, hopefully I can do something with them. But anyway, my second tier 3, I have Tentacruel with Water Poison type, base 100 speed. It has Clear Body, Liquid Ooze, and Rain Dish. So it can kind of utilize some of the rain if I do take it against like a rain team or someone that happens to set up rain, or even if I can set up my own rain. Clear Body is good because it can avoid Intimidates or any other stat lowering moves as well. Liquid Ooze is good, but you know, I probably won't be running it too much against people who are running like, you know, some kind of sapping ability or whatever, but kind of rare, but I won't really be doing that. Next up, we also have Beagers' mascot himself being the Xflower. So that one was another pick because, unfortunately, Beagers, if you're watching this, he sniped me for my Serena. I really wanted a Serena, but I ended up taking the Xflower because, you know, it can work. The Scrappy ability is really good against ghost types as well. You can use Boom Burst, and it's a pretty good doubles Pokemon. I really hope I can get some shenanigans going with at least some Xflower. Because I love Xflower. Xflower is actually a really good Pokemon. Also learned some pretty good moves as well in terms for being a normal type, as always. So, and for my tier 4, I ended up taking Cadabra because I saw what Rebel did with this last season, and you know, Cadabra can provide some really good support and do some other shenanigans that can kind of swap things around and make it a little tricky for your opponent. However, it has Synchronize, Inner Focus, and Magic Guard. So the big thing is I can also put a Life Orb on it and not have it take Life Orb damage. Who knows? But, you know, I wish it was kind of more of the Alakazam rather than the Cadabra. However, it is what it is. But for being a tier 4, it can actually be a scary threat that can actually keep up with some of the competition with its stats. So looking forward to it. And that is the Texas Tyrunts for Season 2 of the IBA VGC. So there might be changes depending if there's any trades or anything that open up or any Pokemon that go into the free agents or whatever as well. So that's going to be kind of here or there. So I might have to see how this plays. But, you know, we haven't, at the time of recording this, we haven't fought our Week 1 opponent yet. We have our entire schedule. But, yeah, it's going to be a fun, fantastic 7 weeks, to be honest. I'm looking very, very forward to it. All these people are very great. You know, again, all the coaches are in the description down below as well. So please do so. Go check out the IBA on Twitter, everyone else. And, you know, huge shout outs to everyone, the commissioner, Salty, everyone for organizing this league and having me on board again. Very much looking forward to it. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and I will see you guys in the next one. See y'all then.